All right, so the best part about that video is it had a lot of little good points in it about, like, you know, the world's different. If you want to look at the world a different way, and that's the point. We need to start looking at the world a different way. The whole purpose of all these events is to maximize your mind. The number one essential is maximizing your mind so we can change and transform your belief systems. Because those four things up there, we got maximize nerve supply, we got the nutrition, the fitness, the detoxification. Those are things to do. Okay? We're not here to take out you do things. We want to make sure that you change permanently. Our purpose here is to make sure your life is epic. We want to have the best possible life you can have. And the way you do that is by applying the principles and changing the way you think. And that's what I mean. That's what this is. Change the way you think. That's what it's all about. So the program is about changing your belief system and how you act, how you can change your world. So give me some ideas on your family's number one asset. What's the most important thing? Is it your house? Is it your savings account? What's the most important thing you can have? Give me some ideas. Hook me up. You guys are cheaters, man. You give me the right answer first try. Health. Of course, the first important thing is your health, period. There's no question. Health is the most important thing. It eclipses money. It eclipses everything in the world. Because, promise you, if you've got a money problem right now, it's small compared to a health problem. I mean, people that have been through cancer, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, they've been in the hospital for something pretty catastrophic. It's not fun. And it's worse on your family members, I promise you. So health is the most important thing. So we have to make sure that we're transforming your health. So today we're going to learn some stuff. We're going to talk about what the immune system is, because a lot of people don't know what that is. I mean, if you think about it, you know what the skeletal system is, right? That's your bones, right? The muscular system, you can picture that in your mind, right? Even the nervous system, which we spend so much time on, you can picture that. But can you picture the immune system somewhere? You're like, where is it? Kind of in your blood, and kind of in your skin. Where is it? We're going to find out where those organs are. Okay? What types of things weaken it, and how we can maximize the immune system through those 5 essentials we talked about. So, what is the immune system? This is a little bug in case you're wondering. Okay? The immune system is your body's defense against infectious organisms and other invaders. Now, I've been talking about this all week, this week, about the situation in 2015. Now, we have more viruses, more bacteria, and more sickness from those diseases years ago, right? Bubonic plague and the Black Death and all these things that were attacking us. Well, today, we have a cleaner world, cleaner society, less viruses, less bacteria. Why are we so sick? Why are there so many autoimmune diseases, and yet there's less viruses and bacteria? Crap, we got squirty stuff for this, we got wipey stuff for that, right? We got everything. Well, that's actually creating some problems. So the immune system attacks foreign invaders, especially things we're going to talk about besides viruses and bacteria. So what is the immune system? Well, there's 2 parts to it, the humoral and cell-mediated. Now, you guys know all about the cell-mediated, because that's when they inject that thing into your bloodstream, and that causes the immune reaction, and the guy comes and eats it, and all that stuff, right? That's cell-mediated. You're going to find out today that the humoral system is even more critical. That's the barrier system. What things are a barrier for things getting into us? Skin. What else? Okay, but getting in, how does it get, what's the protector as it goes in your mouth? Stomach acid. That protects you, right? Those types of things. So we have barrier things like the skin, the stomach acid, and the gut. And that's an interesting thing. See, it's past the stomach and has to go into the rest of the gut. And you're going to find out this is the number one most important thing for boosting immunity is your gut. And that sounds bizarre, but absolutely true. And this is the classic, the cell media is the classic bug exposed, and the immune system comes up and munches down. I got a really cool video on that coming up. Okay? Now, if you have no symptoms, then your immune system is healthy. Right or wrong? Where is he? Wrong. Where is he? I don't see him out there. Where is he? I told my point to him when I got to that point. I can't find him. It's all right. But because that's the question. If you're symptom-free, you're healthy. Your immune system is perfect, right? Wrong. Absolutely wrong. I submit that when you get the snotties and the boogies and the coffees and the squirties and all that stuff, that's your body working the way it was intended, right? There you are, right there. I told you I was going to talk to you. You were hiding. You ducked. Okay? So when it's working, that's when those things happen. So patients would come in, they're a little sick, they say, doctor, you promised I wasn't going to get sick. No, I promised your immune system would take care of it. And that's exactly what it's doing. It's working perfectly when these things happen. So if you take a medication to suppress all these natural things, what do you think happens to the actual illness? It makes it go on longer. You understand? It makes it stronger and longer, and you make your body's immune system weak. We'll find out about that. So think about symptoms like fire alarms, okay? I want you to think about this. If the fire is small, do you get a fire alarm go off yet? So a little tiny fire right here. Did the fire alarm go off? No. So you've got a problem if there's no signal, right? Should you put out the fire or wait for the fire alarm? Right. And that's the point. You should get your body, make it healthier, and then we'll talk more detail there, okay? So now the fire alarm finally goes off. Now you walk up and cut the wires, right? That's the next step. Is that what you should do? No. What should you do? Put out the fire. Take out the battery. Smack her. I can't hit patients, so you guys have to help me out. Okay? So remember, if you feel great, that doesn't necessarily mean you're okay. And that's important to understand. We've got to get you at peak potential, 100%, all the way up at the top. And if you feel bad, if you take a medication and block the signal, that doesn't make you more healthy, it just makes you more comfortable. And it makes this problem worse. Okay? And the final phase, if you put out the fire, does that fix what caused the fire? See, that's even more critical, isn't it? Fixing what caused the fire, getting to the root. And that's the most important part of our office, is where our goal is not to make you feel good. It's not to cut the fire alarms. It's not even to put out the fire. But it's to figure out why you have a fire and fix that. So the fire doesn't poof up again, you're back in here with the same problems. We want to make sure we get you completely fixed. So the answer to health is not waiting for symptoms to appear. That's not what health is. Turning off the fire alarm by taking medications, or even getting an adjustment. Walk in saying, doctor, I have a headache, and then you don't come back into your next headache. No, that's not the approach. That's called chiropractic Tylenol, which is not what we do. Or even putting out the fire. The true answer is getting to the cause. Okay? Now, who's seen this picture before? Anybody? Okay? Now, look up here. How many people see a young woman? Raise your hand. Okay, put your hands down. How many see the old lady? Okay? You see it? Okay? So the key here is change your perspective. That's what we're talking about, Captain America. You've got to change your perspective. Because your perspective is inundated with beliefs that were taught by the medical community at large that help us when you feel good and sickness is when you don't. So you see it yet? Anybody say it? See it? Okay, look, here's the young woman. There's her nose, that's her ear, and that's her chin, and there's a necklace, and that's her little shirt, and her little bow tie. See it? There's the young lady. Now you guys see the old woman? There's her mouth, there's the nose, there's the little knob on her nose, there's her eyeball. See her? And all the wrinkles here. Okay? So you see, you changed your perspective. You saw the old lady, and then you saw the young lady, now you go back and forth, right? Can you guys go back and forth now? So you changed your perspective. That's all we did. We just changed your thinking. It's that quick. That's how you can do it. So we're going to change that. So, one of our doctors through Maximize Living that you guys may not know is Dr. Charlie Major. He beat multiple myeloma. Okay, that's a type of cancer. All right, and that's what created the Cancer Killer series, which is coming up actually in a couple ones. We've got a vaccination, flu shot, then Cancer Killer. You do not want to miss Cancer Killer. All right, but he beat multiple myeloma by doing two things only: studying those people that have beaten cancer and not listening to the ones that said he couldn't do it. Right? Changing your perspective. Because most people go and they get a cancer diagnosis, especially multiple myeloma. What do they call that? That's a death sentence. Okay? I'm sorry, we're going to do some chemotherapy, radiation surgery, make you more comfortable, but you're going to die. This is exactly what he was told. And he said, no, I'm going to find out what caused this. I'm going to find out people that beat this. I'm going to mimic their strategies and build on those strategies until we find a way to make it go away. Not because he was treating cancer. Realize that's the take-home on all of this. We're not treating any diseases. We're making your body so strong and healthy that it just can't manifest illness. Okay? So, finding the cause. That's the key. Just like we talked about the fire alarm. Medicine has its place. Don't get me wrong. You got a bone sticking out of your arm. I've said it many times. What do you got to do? Go to the hospital. Get it fixed. Okay? But most of the time, we rely too heavily on the cure. Right? And where does that set us in this country? The number one leading cause of death in our country is what? Going to the doctor. Because we're waiting for the diseases to show up and then working for the miracle. And how many miracles are people having these days? You know, number one killer is going to the medical doctor, but number two is heart disease. Who hasn't been touched by heart disease in this room right here? How many people haven't been touched by cancer in some way, shape, or form in a family or a friend? Right? It's epidemic, and the diseases are getting worse. Autoimmune is just rocketing, which we're going to learn a lot about today. So malaria, Ebola, the flu, even cancer. See, we don't get cancer. Cancer doesn't make us sick. We get sick because our body is susceptible. You understand? We're able to take over. We're sick enough that cancer can move in. We're sick enough that Ebola can take us down. Right? Make sense? So what's the goal? Make you healthy, and then the body can't get sick. Okay? So germs are everywhere. You can't avoid them. Guys, germs were developed to help us, and the antibiotic thing killed a lot of stuff. Your hope is to build your immune system, strengthen your family system overall, that you're much less susceptible to being overwhelmed by the infectious disease, no matter what the bug is called, no matter what the disease is named. You understand? That's the take-home on everything we do here. Our goal is to make you so healthy that you can't be sick. So the good news is, raise your hand if you'd like to strengthen your immune system to make you build it inside out. Raise your hand if you'd like to learn that. Raise your hand. Come on. Hands up. Everybody's hand should be up. Wow, that's my girl. Okay, everybody's hand went up. I had one Andre Bugger in the back. I knew she'd work for me. All right, so what are we going to do? 5 essentials, okay? We're going to learn how to build that immune system. Now, I want you to do me a favor. On the paper that you have right there, okay, it talks about definition of health. It says, write down your definition of health. See that on the very first page. Everybody got a pen? Everybody should have got a pen. The whole bag of you. If you don't have a pen, raise your hand. Okay, I need 1 pen right there, ladies and gents. Need a pen? Need 2 pens. Pens going once, pens going twice. I got a pen here. Ah, here's some pens. Okay, you need a pen? Pass that line, sweetheart. Okay. So write down your definition of health. Okay? Why don't you do that for me? Are we done? Shouldn't take very long. Got it? What is health? Write that down for me. What do you think health is? Now, I'd like to have guests answer, not necessarily patients. I've been spoken to you guys for years. You better at least get part of this, right? Okay? So tell me, what do you think health is? 3? Ask her. What'd you write down?
It's restoring our bodies to optimum.
Restoring the body to optimum health. Okay? But you used health in the definition. So that's illegal. Okay? Remember they teach it out in school. You have to actually not use the name of the definition. Anybody else? Now, if you know the answer, don't just jump in here. I want to hear everybody. What they don't, you don't know, say. Just give me an idea. What do you think it is? Troy, what's her name? I know you're Troy. Who's that?
Joy.
Oh, Joy. That's Troy. That's Joy. Joy, what did you write down? Do you mind sharing? Okay. She said pain-free. What else? Disease-free. And one more thing you said. Not being sick. Okay? Being refreshed and happy. So, if you are refreshed, if you're happy and feel great, and you have cancer and don't feel it because it's so tiny, are you healthy or sick? Oops, just destroyed your definition, didn't I? Okay? What else did she say? Feeling good, right? How many men and women walk in with a routine exam, they run a PSA test for prostate, and walk out and the doctor says you have terminal prostate cancer? 1 in 2 men get that. How about women in breast exams? Walk in, routine exam. Oh, we found a malignancy, right? Isn't that a surprise? And what is it always? Last night I had a lady. We went round and round and round and round, and she said, "But doc, you don't understand. I feel so good. you don't understand. You're telling me I'm sick, but I'm not. I feel great. And I said the same thing. What does cancer feel like? What does diabetes feel like? For Christ's sake, what does the cavity feel like before it gets into the root? You don't feel it. And how expensive is a root canal compared to fixing a cavity? And how cheap is brushing your teeth compared to a cavity? You see, that's the point. So health, and say it out loud, say it again, if you wrote it down perfect. All parts working at 100%. All parts working at 100%. I'm going to exchange the word working for functioning. When the body is functioning perfectly, that's when everything's healthy. And by the way, patients and people that know, what controls all body function? Brain. Say it louder. Brain. So the brain talks to the body perfectly. What have you got? Say it loud. Health. You have to. Because that's the way the body runs. It runs through that nervous system. So free of interference makes that happen. So we're going to learn about all these things. So what interferes with the immune system? What makes the body immune system stink? Stress. Okay? Stress, subluxation, and for guests in the room, that means the spine is out of alignment. Sugar, processed foods, and gut problems, germs and toxins. Those are the big interference guys. This is what I feel like before programs every time. You know that? I mean, I'm so scared. Believe it or not, I get scared about these programs. But that's what I feel like. Isn't that kind of a funny picture? Okay? So, this is kind of cool. Psychoneuroimmunology. Now break this down. Psycho, what's that mean? Don't think we said it. What does it mean? Of the brain. Okay? Neuro, nerve. Immuno means immune system and ology. So the brain-body connection into the immune system. Psychoneuroimmunology. Long-term chronic stress provides wear and tear and damages the nerve system. So when you're under chronic stress, you can actually measure the damage to your immune system. So guys, psychoneuroimmunology, that's been around for years, okay? But again, it's just making a resurgence, okay? I want to play a quick video.
And now, the arts of the brain, performed by the brain.
Yes. Neocortex frontal lobe. Hippocampus neural node, right hemisphere. Pons and cortex visual. Sylvian fissure pineal, left hemisphere. Cerebellum left. Cerebellum right. Say that's hypothalamus, striatum and right.
This is funny. Come on, guys.
Axon fibers matter gray.
You're supposed to have.
Central segmental pathway, temporal lobe. White core matter, forebrain skull. Central fissure, cord spinal, parietal. Diameter, meningeal vein, medulla oblongata, and lobe limbic. Microelectrodes. The brain. That little squirt's happy. Yeah.
And what are the little squirts? You guys are the squirts. So what's it all about, guys? It's the brain. It's the brain. And that's the take home on all of it. So I thought that was a cute video. Okay? But the brain controls all life function. And as long as the brain makes and reestablishes connections into the body, it'll be healthy. So this is the connection as stress and how it affects it. Stress feeds the brain. Now I want you to notice something. The brain goes down neural messaging, affects the endocrine and immune systems. So it affects what's called the microbiota, which is the bugs and the natural healthy bacteria of the body. The gut-brain axis, there's another connection. It also affects the flora or the healthy bacteria in your gut. Now, if it gets messed up, it's called dysbiosis. All right? So, but I want you to, the most important part of this slide is this. Notice it's a two-way street. See that? So the brain affects the microbiota affects the brain. So it's a two-way street. So if your microbiota, your bacteria are unhealthy, that's going to affect brain functions. And if you have bad stress and brain functions, it's going to mess up your microbiota. So it's going to mess up your flora. And so your gut, and all this stuff lives inside the gut. So the macrobiota is within the gut. So when you get under stress, it messes with the bacteria in your gut and your immune system, which is located in the gut, and it makes your body sick. And it leads to disorders like functional irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, Crohn's disease, susceptibility to wheat intolerances, all this stuff related to your tummy. Okay? But it also leads to autoimmune disease, which we'll talk about in a second. So first thing was stress, right? So that's how stress affects the body. Second thing is subluxation. So again, we've already learned it's all about the brain, right? Because Pinky taught us that, right? So the brain comes down, sends electrical messages through the cord. So if the vertebrae gets out of alignment, a healthy nerve becomes compressed and damaged. Now if that nerve connects into the immune system, what's that going to make you susceptible to? Anything and everything, right? Because the immune system protects you against cancers, diabetes, heart disease, inflammation. I mean, everything is controlled through that nerve system. But remember, it's a two-way street, right? So if you get let's say you breathe on somebody, okay, and you have a bug that person doesn't like. It goes into their nose, sorry, they're in the torture seat. Down it goes, into the lungs, and all of a sudden the lungs go, holy crap, I'm having an infection here. So what's it going to do? The brain then, from the two-way street, makes a phone call, goes up to the brain and says, I'm having troubles, then responds back by sending messages to the immune system to kill the infection. Do you understand how the nervous system is intimately tied into this? So if you block the upstream cable, and let's say it's a tummy, you're going to end up with a tummy ache and an infection. And the end game could be ulcers, right? If it goes to your lungs, could be, things as simple as a bronchitis to the extremes of a lung cancer or a COPD or something like that. You understand? So that it is so far-reaching. Subluxation is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, more devastating than anything we've talked about here today. So it's all about interference to the flow of the natural and healthy body. So signs of subluxation, and this is not an all-inclusive list, not even close. Okay? Asthma, headaches, menstrual problems. See, if you connect to the lungs, that's what's it going to be. Asthma. Connect to the head, headaches. Come to the uterus, uterine troubles, right? Blood pressure problems. You go to the heart, block the nerve of the heart gets weak, has to pump harder. What's going to happen to your blood pressure? It goes up. And then what do? Go to the medical doctor, get blood pressure-lowering medication, which makes you more susceptible to a heart attack. Read the research, guys. It's out there. Okay? Depression, that's the limbic system, as Pete talked about, which is the emotional areas. Insomnia, that's melanin from the backside of the brain to the pineal gland. Everybody knows what sciatic and low back pain is. Neck, dizzy spells, fatigue because of adrenal insufficiency, which we hit big time in the last program. Reflux in the tummy, and numbness and tingling arms or legs. Make sense? Again, this isn't an all-inclusive list. Pick an organ. If you're experiencing something, we can check the nerve to see if it's connected and fix it. And the body gets healthy. Okay? So what happens when you get extreme damage to the spinal cord? What's going to happen? Who remembers him? Now look at him. He's like super, look, he is Superman, right? Look at the guy's like a shows of God, isn't he? He's almost like me. That's it. Now, come on, man. Okay? But what happened to him? Who can you tell me what happened?
Fell off the horse.
Yeah, I got he died, but why did he die? Fell horse broke his neck and severed his spinal cord, right? So he lost 100% function to his body. Why didn't he die? Machines, right? The brain is still there, but the machines kept him alive. I think this is a medical miracle, isn't it? The lungs were working because of an iron lung, right? Artificial pumping of the heart, artificial digestion. This is sick, but you really get the waste out of his body. He had to push on his stomach to get the waste out of his colon. So how amazing is our nerve system? I heard something. Our brain performs 2,038 trillion actions a second. Isn't that bizarre? Imagine trying to do that yourself and manage it, thinking about it. It's automatic. Okay? But here's what happens. Now I want you to actually look at that picture again and look how he's very youthful, right? Now guys, this is he lasted 2 years after his injury. 2 years, that's it. That's all he got. Now look at him now. This is just before he died. How old does he look? And the same doctor that wrote this quote, this Patricia Brennan, said, they call the damage to the nerve system premature aging. So if you want to be totally like narcissistic, get your spine adjusted, it'll make you younger. Okay? I mean, that's all you're about. I don't care if you still get healthy. Okay? So look what she said. Corrective spinal adjustments have a great effect on certain aspects of the immune function. Her group showed that when the thoracic spine, the mid-back area, was adjusted, the respiratory burst white cells cycle was enhanced. So in other words, it boosted up the immune function. Manipulation through thought to stimulate the immune function as part of promoting the release of endorphins along with improving immunity. How awesome is that? And then there's another study that was done. I talked to many people about this. If you get your spine adjusted just once, the corrective adjustment, not cracking to feel good. There's a lot of chiropractors do that. We're correcting spines, right? Okay? If you do it properly, your immune system jumps up 300%. And what they're measuring is called serum thiols, which are DNA repair enzymes. And if you replicate a bad piece of DNA, you've got cancer. So what this thing does, you got 300% more of these guys repairing DNA, but after your risk of cancer decreases 300%. And once your spine's corrected and you maintain it for a lifetime, that's like you not get cancer for the rest of your life. 300% better than everybody else. Who wants cancer? Raise your hand. That's what I thought. Make sure you make your adjustments. Okay? Now, this is the kid part, and this is really important. I had you guys do health surveys. Okay, so I passed them out for the children. You guys got name tags and all that. Is that correct, Angie? Okay? So, over here on the left, I want you to look at this curve in the back. You see this is a healthy curve. It's from the front view. Is that healthy or sick? What do you think? Sick. Now, what do we call that? Scoliosis subluxation. Exactly. Now, over here, this mom said, she saw this other kid, and she said, I want to get my kid fixed. And that's the result. Kind of cool, huh? That's a kid. These are uncurable, right? Oh, he's got scoliosis. You can't fix him. There's evidence right there to the contrary. Okay? Now, over here on the other side over here, this is a mom who said, this one came in. See, now let it back up. I'm on the wrong side. See the tiny twist in here? Okay, I'm sorry. Mom said, I'm not going to get care, and that's the follow-up, and she brought her kid back on a follow-up x-ray with no treatment. See the difference? I said it backwards, because here's the corrective side. See the twist? Look at that. See the difference? See, she said, I see this, and I want it fixed, and that's the result. One mom saw this, and not a big deal, that's the result of non-intervention. How many people should get their kids checked? How many people are here getting adjusted right now and let their kids home? That makes me crazy. Because the kids are our future. And every second that subluxation is there, you're building a sick brain because you're not getting the inputs and the outputs later. We're going to talk about this later, but I want to get your kids checked. You need to get checked. So, offer of a lifetime, especially for kids. There's a posture exam, thermal exam, and a structural x-ray to determine the presence or absence of subluxation and get it fixed. We can talk about that a little later. So make sure you take advantage of that. Because the normal cost for that, guys, is $250. If you're just off the street coming in. If you come in as a referral or one of our guests tonight, we're only going to charge you $20 for the kids. And if you're a guest, you also get the same $20 deal. This is mainly for the children. I want my kids fixed. I don't want my kids adjusted. Your kids are my kids. If you get a chance, read that over there. It says got a poster with the kid picture on it. Get a chance to read it. It's a dream of mine to have that. So, step number 3 is the gut. Processed foods sugar in the gut. When a person is malnourished, the immune system is weakened. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? Probably what is malnourished. We always think of that little kid on the Sally Field show, and they're all broken with a big swollen tummy. We go, oh, we feel so sad for them. We're talking about our kids. We're talking about us. The kid that's like, oh, he looks well nourished, and he just had McDonald's, a Burger King, fry, and a Coke. That's not nutrition. That's pretend food. So you got to make sure we're doing this. When you restore a person's normal nutrition, her immune system improves. Obviously, you can't type. Okay? So when you continue to improve nutrition, we're beyond. Now, that's just adequate. We want to make you sufficient, not just adequate. Do you understand? It's the difference between just baseline. Who wants to just be okay? Wouldn't you rather just be outstanding, amazing, wonderful, super stupendous, phenomenal? That's where I want my life to begin. I want that for each and every one of you. Okay? Gut. Surprising symptoms. chances are you or someone you love suffers from the following. Digestive problems, right? So immune system deficiency says, well, you have digestive problems. But these are the ones that are surprising when we talk about stomach. So you have gut troubles, of course you're going to have digestive troubles. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? That's the easy part. But chronic colds, allergies, ear infections, even arthritis and cancer, what does that have to do with anything? And what does Scooby-Doo have to do with it? You guys, when you look at this, you should have went, oh, look at me. Oh, no. That's pretty good. Admit that? Ooh, I love Scooby-Doo. Okay? But that's what he would say. How can the immune system, what does the gut have to do with cold, allergies, flu infection, even cancer and arthritis? I have arthritis. Why are you fixing my stomach? Because that's where the bugs live. Okay? The healthy bugs. Okay? Now this is called leaky gut. Okay? Now everybody, I want you to picture, if you're old enough to remember asteroids. Who remembers asteroids? Right? I played it too, man. Right? So you had this little, like there's a triangle thing that was your ship. It shot these, and it shot asteroids, okay? Now when you hit one asteroid, what did it do? Broke in half, right? You hit it again, broke in half again. Half of the half of the half of the half, till finally it was small enough to disintegrate, okay? That's the way the digestive system works, okay? Enzymes, bacteria, all these healthy things break down these things into smaller chunks. So you eat a chunk of food, it gets broken down, broken down, broken down, broken down. When it gets small enough, it gets in line. Okay? I want everybody in this room to picture Denver International Airport at security. Okay? So all the food gets in line like this. Okay? Then you gotta go. All right, come on. Right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, you can go. Okay? But then there's these sneaky guys. These toxins and poisons and things that get in line too. They're trying to sneak in there going. Okay? The alarm goes off. Here comes the cops. They grab him, haul him off, and they eat him up. That's what they eat him up. Macrophages can chew them up. Does that make sense? I love metaphors because it makes it so much simpler, right? But what is leaky gut? When you consume too many toxins, poisons, processed foods, sugars, these elements break in and they bust up against the gut. This poisonous element hits the gut and it forms cracks. Now these are huge compared to what we're talking about. And all I can picture is like, what's the name of that show? The Third Kind. What was it called? Something The Third Kind? Close Encounters of the Third Kind. When the dude and the aliens came, and they're all looking at it, they go, I don't know what it is, but it's monstrous. Right? And so what starts to happen is this. Poisons are supposed to be chewed up and removed. Does that make sense by your immune system? But pretty soon, this big leaky gut, these things, these ginormous particles come through the gut, and the immune system doesn't know whether it's food or if it's poison because it's so big. So even if it's food, it calls the immune system, calls the immune system, calls the immune system, calls the immune system. Make sense? Now, who likes the Terminator movies? Anybody but me? I love Terminator. So cool. Okay? But in the Terminator movie, okay, think about what happens in the Terminator movie. I totally lost my train of thought. Okay? That's crazy, I lost it. Okay, leaky gut, bugs coming through, bacteria, Terminator movie. I don't know if I referenced that. Totally lost it. That's bizarre. Okay? Anyway, so I can't remember what the reference was. That is so bizarre. Think about brain, you're not using adjustment. Okay? Too much sugar. I guess so. But the food, so what happened, these particles, that's what it was, battle fatigue. That's what it was. Okay, remember the Terminator movie? When the guy walks up and he knocks on the door to get in after he had his shift, and he's all pooped out, tired, he opens the door, and the dog smelled him and said he wasn't a monster and brought him in, right? And he walks in, and there's the kid sitting there watching the TV. You thought that they're actually sitting in front of a fire that was in the TV set. It was a horrible deception. You guys just like exhausted. Got ready to sit down. About 2 seconds, bam! The dog's barking, and people are freaking out. He has to jump back up and shoot the Terminator. Have you got that? Okay? That's what happens to your immune system. It goes through battle fatigue. It's always on alert. And it's not from bacteria, it's not from viruses. It's from sugar, toxins in the environment, plastics, food additives, air pollution. Our immune system is constantly being inundated, hence the name body armor. right? We're making you so powerful that all these weird things that the body should never have been exposed to can protect against that. That's what we're trying to create. So, battle fatigue, when you get battle fatigue, they start getting confused. And if this immune system attacks your joints, what do we call that? Arthritis, most commonly rheumatoid arthritis, but also scleroderma, lupus, erythematosus, dermatomyositis in the skin, pancreatitis, which would be diabetes, heart disease, all of it's autoimmune because the immune system starts to attack itself. Make sense? So we got to fix all that stuff. Fix this leaky gut. Because what happens is leaky gut turns into food intolerances. Oh, doc, I can't eat that pizza like I used to. Right? Autoimmune abnormalities, and finally you end up with an autoimmune disease. Okay? So, that's leaky gut. Let's talk about sugar. Why is sugar such a big deal? Now it kind of makes me a little crazy. Okay? You go to a doctor, medical provider, who says you have cancer. He says, we're going to give you chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery, and make sure you eat lots of ice cream. Don't worry about eating. Don't worry. Sugar's not a big deal. Right? That's what they say. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a test. We're going to do radioactive sugar. Why? So we can find the cancer. Well, what does sugar have to do with cancer? Well, sugar eats cancer, or cancer eats sugar. So what they do is they give you radioactive sugar that floats into your bloodstream. The cancer eats it, and they can find the cancer and know right where to shoot the radiation or cut it out. Does that make sense to everybody? Why would you ever let a patient eat sugar if they have cancer? Is that all crazy? I get into fights with doctors, with different types of cancer treating doctors, that sugar doesn't make any difference. And I give them this reference. They say, well, I don't care. Dude, it's your own test. And they do this for all kinds of diseases, not just sugar, or not just cancer, but other diseases that eat cancer. 90% of the diseases consume sugar as its source. So sugar's a monstrous deal, guys. And where does it come from? This is the hard part. I don't eat any sugar, doctor. I've never taken anything in that packet for years. I don't put that candy bars. I don't eat soda pop. Yeah, but you eat grain. That's sugar. Most vegetable oils convert into sugar because of the hydrogenation process. Margarine and fake butters turn into sugar. Processed low fats and fat-free foods, that's it. If it says fat-free, that's a secret code that means what? High sugar. Apple juices, fruit juices. I'll give Johnny fresh apple juice every morning, and he sucks on that on his bottle. And I don't know why he's so fat. Sugar. Okay? Make sense? So you gotta watch for the hidden sugars. Alcohol's another one. Okay? So the question is, why are we feeding our body something that weakens our ability to protect ourselves? Why do we do that? It tastes so darn good. Sorry, you gotta suck it up. And there's other things, xylitol, stevia, right? These are things that are not artificial sweeteners. And here's a little hint. When you eat an artificial sweetener, the Splenda, the Equal, whatever, it has the same response as if you ate sugar. The body can't tell the difference because it's sweet, it responds the same, it's making you just as fat, if not more fat. Not to mention it toxifies all the plug-in receptor sites, which then makes it impossible to lose weight. Okay? So crazy stuff. Germs, measles, Ebola, enterovirus 638, West Nile, SARS. You've heard about all these, right? H1N1, oh my gosh. This is what they do to us. Oh, we're going to die, right? Guys, what's that called? That's called Fearbola. Okay? It's not Ebola. Okay? I did this to the staff. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Is this real? This is a joke. Why not? Okay, now listen to this. Fearbola is an airborne disease that spreads through conversation, entering through your brain into your ears, through your ears into your brain. Fearbola is so contagious that some victims have contracted it by seeing vivid images and videos about Ebola. How many people have died from Ebola in America? How many? Remember the big scare? It's taking over, we're going to die. 0. Nobody's died from Ebola. And yet, less than 6 months ago, we were all wearing masks and scared to walk around. Guys, there's germs everywhere. Who's going to survive the bacterial holocaust that's going to come? Because it's going to happen. It is. Who's going to survive? This room. Because you're going to have made your immune system so strong that those nasty buggers can't get you. You get it? It's a different perspective. Remember that the old lady, remember beginning? We're changing perspective. I hope you're changing it from the old lady to the young lady or whatever direction you need to go. The 4 R's, okay? 5 R's. Well, there's 4 R's you got to do at the end. These are the 5 R's to start. You got 11 R's, okay? Reduce stress, rebalance your nervous system, replace sugar with processed foods and whole foods, regular exercise, and reduce toxins, okay? Reducing stress, exercise. Chiropractic care boosts up your happy hormones, okay? Serotonin skyrockets when you get a chiropractic adjustment. Stretch and meditate. Enjoyable hobbies. Spend time in nature. Take time to connect with friends and family. Live life. Do this once in a while. I wish I could do a little more of that, huh? Come on. Okay? Look well to the spine for the cause of disease. This is from Hippocrates. Isn't that the coolest picture ever? I love this picture. It's so awesome. We got to get that nerve system fixed up. Okay? You got to activate your immune system. There's a thing called proleukin. You know what proleukin is? That's what they inject into AIDS patients to boost their immunity. And where do they find proleukin? In us. They didn't call it proleukin, it's called interleukin 2. And according to a 2010 study, chiropractic adjustments, corrective care, influence interleukin 2 regulates biological response for a single adjustment. So this is what I was talking about, boosting up immunity. But it says temporarily, but once the spine's corrected and you maintain it, it's permanent. That's the point. Okay? This is a cool video on the bugs. So, imagine for a second you just got a chiropractic adjustment. There's a cancer cell inside your body, and this is what's going to happen to it. Okay? Now, here is the cancer cell. There's a couple of them down here, there's another one down here, I think. But watch, this is the immune system. Check out what it does to that. Look at it. Just destroys it. That's a cancer cell. There's another one down here. I think it nukes another one right there. It doesn't have a chance because you got this freaking on fire, crazy immune system that's nuking this because you just got an adjustment, because you didn't eat the sugar, because you're managing your stress, because you're doing all the 5 essential things to keep your body healthy. Make sense? Is that pretty cool looking? That's some of the science stuff. Always is amazing. Oops, I don't have to do anything with this push go. All right, so it all comes down to one thing. The brain. Remember Pinky and the Brain? Who watched that cartoon besides me? Anybody? Wasn't that the coolest cartoon? What was Pinky's goal?
Take over the world.
What do you think my goal is? We're going to take over the world, baby. I'm Pinky. Okay? I'm the brain, actually. I'm the other guy. Sorry, I'm the brain, not the All right, so, staff, I need your help, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little break and a cup of water. And you guys don't leave. We're not done. We got some cool stuff to come. We're going to talk how to fix your gut. Okay? But today, that special offer, the $20 deal, please, if you've got kids and you haven't had them checked, it's time for you. Reduce your sugar. Eat more whole foods. Okay? If you want to be more, this is kind of hard for me to say. I screw this up every time. If you want to be more alive than dead, eat more foods that are alive than dead. Very simple, right? The closer it is to alive, the better off it is. What's better, raw nuts or roasted? Raw. Now, does that mean, what's better, raw nuts or roasted nuts or almond joy? See what I'm saying? So don't, again, the key element to success in all these programs is don't go crazy. Okay? What you guys do is you walk away from these programs, you go home and you go, I'm not going to ever touch a candy bar again. And you're like, I like candy bars, I like candy bars, I like candy bars. Next thing you know, you're like power driving on those mini bars in front of the tea set with all the chocolate around your mouth. Okay? Go slow. Don't do it yourself, guys. Make simple changes. Go from margarine to butter. Right? Who likes avocado? Who likes guacamole? That's a healthy fat, man. Munch on the guacamole. Try it without the chips. Make sense? So, I know. See, that's a lateral move, see? So it's a better kind of chips. Whole grain, right? That's what's better, whole grain or no grain. See, but don't go crazy on yourself. Move slow through this process. Guys, you have a lifetime to torture yourself. Don't jump in and be perfect tomorrow. Okay? Take your time. It's okay. Okay? Strengthen immune system strengthening foods. Vitamin D, fermented foods, garlic, coconut oil, fresh organic fruits and vegetables. Loaded up with wonderful things to boost immunity. Exercise. Exercise is like the winning ticket at the lottery. The benefits of exercise are so great that choosing not to exercise is like throwing away a winning lottery ticket. It's that simple. It oxygenates the tissues. It enhances all kinds of function. Okay? It enhances VO max. And think about it. If you're pumping oxygen through the body, These bacteria and viruses which live off of no oxygen can't survive. So that's when you exercise. I feel sick, I don't feel like exercising. Get your butt out of bed, go down and exercise. You'll feel 1,000,000% better because you're going to nuke it with the oxygen. Okay? This is a cool kid. Check it out. I stole that from the internet. Don't even tell anybody. Okay? But take your kids to the grocery store. Okay? Teach them how to shop. And when we do our shop in the doc program, we take all you guys over to the Sprouts, and we teach you guys how to read labels and stuff. Teach your kids this stuff. Guys, it doesn't come through osmosis. They have to learn. They have to understand. Bring your kids to the office. Bring them to the programs. They need to learn these things. Okay? Take the family outside and do a T3 fun. Look, T3 fun, the T3 video we talked about. Take a walk or play outdoors. Get out of there. Okay? Reduce your toxins. And what's better for you, the pill or carrots? Okay? So cut down on those toxins in your body. Okay? So recapping on the general stuff. Reduce stress. Get your family checked for spinal subluxations. Reduce your sugar. Eat, support your immune system. And out of everything you're going to do, if you can't do anything else, do your D3. Get the D3 here because it's loaded up with probiotics, which enhances the absorption. Most of your vitamin D supplements are worthless because they don't have the probiotics that can enhance the absorption through the gut. Okay? So, 14-day reboot. All of you should have gotten a packet that says a 14-day reboot on it, yes? Okay? Now, every single person in this room needs to do something with this program. Okay? And I'm going to walk through each process of this, the step-by-step action to make your gut go from swirly nasty to happy. Yes. Not a happy tummy? There's a difference. Happy tummy. Right? Happy tummy. Come on, you guys are supposed to laugh a little bit. Come on, that was a good picture. Okay? So, that's the goal. So we're going to start by, this is how you fix the gut he was talking about in the front row. We're going to remove, replace, re-inoculate, and repair. All right? So you're going to remove the bad junk from your gut. We're going to replace it with all the stuff that's missing. Because the problem is when you've got leaky gut syndrome, you don't have enough enzymes and bacteria and healthy bacteria to form digestion. So when you eat whole food, it's almost impossible to get it absorbed. You've got to get almost pre-digested food. You've got to substitute enzymes into the system and things to make the body work. Then you have to re-inoculate with the beneficial bacteria, which is where the immune system is located to enhance the digestion process. And then we've got to get the necessary nutrients to make the gut repair. So R1, remove. Now, supplements, Max GI. Now, Max GI is a gastrointestinal supplement that helps to boost up immune functions. And Jean can tell you about this one. It's pretty awesome, right? Okay, she was having troubles for a long time. This helped out a lot. The coolest part about this particular supplement, this is in the remove phase, right? This puts a bacteria, and it's called Bacillus subtilis. Okay, that's the name of the bacteria. It actually implants itself in the gut, and it cuts off the roots of all the bad stuff inside your gut and makes it float away. Is that cool or what? I don't know how they came up with that, how they pictured that. I never have a picture of it, but that's the way it works. So Max GI you need. The detox system, this is going to clean out those cellular poisons and toxins. But the most critical element is glutathione, which is an immune system enhancer. It helps the liver. Daily defense. For those of you who have any inflammatory conditions at all, my joints hurt, my back hurts, my muscles sore, I get headaches, I have digestive troubles, I have diabetes, I have cancer, I have any type of inflammatory. This has a melon extract, which is the most solid anti-inflammatory, not the kind that talks to inhibition, not the drugs that poison your gut, but this actually enhances the immune response. And the garlics, we talked about enhancing immune function garlics. Now, again, I want you to do everything, okay? I'm just that guy. But what did I say? Start slow. So if you can manage this, get it all. Now, this is for just R1. This is the most important. That would be second, third, and fourth. Now, if you can manage all of them, get them all. Because they're just going to make you healthy that much faster. R1, you got to remove the bad stuff. Step 2, we got to replace the stuff that's missing. Panzyme breaks down carbohydrates and fats. So it's the enzyme that's missing because of the holes in your gut. Okay? It comes from your pancreas, by the way, not just insulin production, but it also makes your enzymes. Gastric acid, what do you think that's for? Digestion of proteins. Okay, that's how it denatures the proteins so they can be absorbed. So this breaks down the solid food you're eating, the good, healthy, organic food you're eating. Okay? Then the Max Greens, this provides all those natural enzymes. This is a whole food product. It has the dark chocolate in it. Max Greens does. Also, Greens First and the Red Alert are options as well. I'm not a big fan of the dark chocolate in this, so I tend to follow the Greens First and Red Alert. But if you like dark chocolate, that's the cool one. Okay? Reinoculate. We have to put the good bacteria in there. We have poisoned our bodies so much with antibiotics. How many people have taken an antibiotic sometime in their life? Okay, you destroyed all the healthy bacteria in your body, and your gut's destroyed, and you wonder why you're getting sick. It's that simple. Replace that. So you reinoculate it, ProBiomax Plus, dairy-free, and then the other option is IgG 2000. Now, what's the difference? This is bacteria, okay, that lines the gut, it aids in the digestion. So when those, remember the asteroids? When it bumps up against the gut, these little bacteria munch on some of it and crack it in half. Okay? So we're feeding the bacteria, which is good for us, so it's a symbiotic relationship. This stuff is raw immunoglobulin concentrate. These are antibodies. So I picture like the Air Force, Marines, and all of those are specific types. These are the raw recruits. You're literally taking recruits, putting them in your body, they're just saying, what do you want me to do? I want you to go to be in the Air Force. You know where that is, right? That's in the lungs. The Air Force? Okay. Or Marines, whatever. Okay. See, the body takes them and turns them into wherever they want. It's actually just providing additional recruits to beat the battle fatigue. Does that make sense? You got to repair the gut. That's the repair process. So you're going to get perfect protein. Okay? Now, for some people, especially with leaky gut and gut troubles and immune disorders, the whey protein is a little troublesome for their intestines. They get diarrhea and whatnot. So this is a good one that helps. It's pre-digested protein, and we're made of. See, the body wants to do this. It wants to use fat as energy, carbohydrates for quick energy, and it wants to use protein to make us. What you see is protein. Your eyeball, your liver, your fingernails, the skin. This is all mostly made of protein. So if you use, see, that's where you got to have the perfect diet, whether it's the advanced or core eating plan, which is in the nutrition book. Okay? But you got to know which diet plan to be on so that you're getting right. If you get too much protein, you're going to end up using it as an energy source, which you can. It's called gluconeogenesis. It recreates energy through protein. It spits out a horrible poison called urea. Your body. So again, you got to play the balance right. The perfect protein, if you can't do the whey protein, perfect plant protein is an alternative. There's one other one, Zymogen, which I tend to, most people are successful with what you can't do. Okay, glutamine. Glutamine is an immune system booster. This is the answer. Now, who's ever exercised and got really, really sore? Anybody? Okay, everybody's done that, right? Okay, this stuff is a miracle for that. Called the DOMS, the late onset muscle soreness, because it boosts the immune system to clean up all the debris to enhance healing. Okay? Who's tried, like maybe ibuprofen or something for the soreness? It doesn't work. It doesn't work because the process is this rebuilds that damaged tissue. So you tear down a muscle, this rebuilds it back. So it builds your gut back perfect. It's a miracle. Okay? Pro-omegas. This is the omega-3 fatty acids, right? We got omega-6s, omega-3s. We consume too many omega-6s in our diet, which creates arachidonic acid, which is pro-inflammatory. Well, that comes from what? From toxic food, like all of our non-organic meats, the GMO stuff. We had a big program on GMOs about 2 programs ago. All these things create inflammation. So we got to get the omega-3s, which is, most people are omega-3 deficient. That will help to enhance immune function. And of course, vitamin D. Vitamin D is a miracle. It really is. It boosts the immune system and makes the body function that much better. Question?
I'm sorry, but I always thought glutamine had something to do with leaky gut, like improving it or helping heal leaky gut syndrome.
Right.
Is that wrong or?
No, that's what we're talking about. This is how we're doing it.
The L-glutamine is? Oh, I thought you were talking about rebuilding protein or muscle or something with that.
Oh, but that's why you get such great benefit from glutamine on the soreness. But that does it. It heals leaky gut too. See, it's a repair thing. See, what glutamine does is it boosts up your immune system. Now, if it boosts up your immune system, it's going to clean up all the debris from exercise. If you've got an inflamed gut, the glutamine is going to clean up all the inflammation in the gut. If you've got an inflamed joint, it's going to clean up all the inflammation in the joints. So it's not just for leaky gut. Okay? Make sense? All right. All right, D3, and then the last one is the Max T3 video. That's for oxygenation, boosting up oxygen. And again, in order, follow your order. And on the sheet that I gave you, right here, it says Max GI, Max Greens, ProBiomax, Vitamin D, and those are the order in which you want to get things. Okay? But one in each category, one of the 4 R's minimum. Okay? Now, if you want to get more, you can. It's just going to make it that much better. Okay? Now, the bundle pricing on this, you'll see that on your sheet. Okay? On the far right-hand side. Now, guys, it doesn't just apply to the supplements listed here. Now, these are what we're focusing on today, but I want you to make sure you get one in each category and start fixing your gut and boosting immunity. But if there's something you've been holding out for, there's 5 or 6 people, every time you come to a program, everything in the office is on sale. You guys know that, right? You don't know that, you just learned it, come. That's how you should never pay retail, ever. Ever. But you gotta come to the program. It's gotta make them come. See how it works? That there's something to hold out on. Maybe the multivitamin, or maybe the Mineral. That's a wonderful supplement for your brain. I take that all the time. But there's all kinds of things you can get, and it's all on sale. And again, the more you spend, the more you save.